Now, ordinarily when we do textile work, you'd use chalk of some sort and it would rub off in the wash. Now, because we're not going to have to wash the lampshade and all of this inside is going to be rolled over these frames, using a pencil is absolutely fine. So if you haven't got chalk at home, if you want to use chalk, that's fine, but if not, just use a pencil, that's not a problem. Okay. Now, what we can do is start to remove these two strips with the kiss cut from the rest of the adhesive panel. Now, the best way to do this, and I realise on the instruction sheet it tells you to cut first and then remove the strips. I find with this cotton drill fabric that it does tend to fray a little bit. I mean, if you're using other cotton fabrics, if you cut it first and then remove the strips, you will get quite a lot of fraying. So I find the best thing to do is to run the pencil across the top, remove the strips, and then cut. We'll do it together. So with the strips, if you bend that over, and just press along that kiss cut line from one side to the other. And then we're going to do the same on the bottom. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this now, where we've got these two strips nicely bent over. We can start to peel away that top strip. And just as a warning, these get everywhere and stick to everything. So I just stick them together in half. They're not going to stick to all of your clothes and all of your table. And then just peeling away the bottom one as well. Oops. Just going to run my pencil mark across there again because it didn't go on the fabric. Again, I'm just going to stick these together because they do just get everywhere and stick to everything otherwise. There we go. Okay, so what you should have now is your lovely adhesive panel stuck, got some excess fabric, but a pencil line down either side. I'll hold it up so you can see. Okay, just turn it over at this point and just make sure you haven't got any bubbles. I should have told you to do that a little bit earlier as well, but now's a really good time. With the cotton drill, what you can do, if there's a slight bubble or a slight crease, if you just give it a little rub with your finger, it normally comes out and it will stick back to the fabric. But this panel's looking very, very good. There's no bubbles or creases in there. So again, we're going to carry on working on the back of this. Now, what we want to do, take our scissors, and again, these don't have to be fancy fabric scissors. These ones aren't. These are just a regular pair of desk scissors. You just need something that can cut the fabric, basically. We're going to cut along this top pencil line and this bottom pencil line just here. So this line just here and this line just here. So just start on one side. Just cutting all the way across. So it's important to say this, but I'm quite used to making these. I've made hundreds and hundreds of shades. I'm just going to turn this around. So I'm probably going quite quick. So if at any point you want to stop, please do. Just press pause. And you can catch up with us, whether you're watching this on YouTube or Instagram TV, you can pause it and move it backwards and forwards as well. So I'm just going to do the other one. So remember, we're leaving, when we're doing this, we're leaving that bit where that plastic strip, the adhesive strip that we took off, we're still leaving that so we can roll that over. It's just the excess fabric that we've taken off down the side. So if you want a closer visual of what we're doing, again, you can just refer back to these visual instructions as well as a guide. I may be going a little bit out of sequence or doing some things that aren't on there as well. Like I say, just from my sort of years of making lampshades, there's a few tricks and tips that you pick up. So I'm hopefully passing those on to you now as well. So just cut in all the way across. Make sure you cut directly on that line. So this width that we took off from that strip, that's really important that we have that whole width. No more, no less, to be able to fully roll over. Okay. Now, I'm going to work with my fabric sort of going down towards me, so the pattern going down towards me. It's really important at this stage, I tell you, that some of our fabrics are directional and some are multi-directional. So with this badger design, there is, you can see a top and a bottom to the design. So here's the top, and the design goes down the fabric. But you might find if you've got something like the bee fabric, or I'm trying to think of another one that might be multi-directional, maybe the hedgehog fabric as well, you'll see that it doesn't change as you turn it upside down. The pattern remains exactly the same. Now that just means you can work with it anyway. So don't worry, if you're using one of those fabrics, don't worry about the sort of direction that it goes in. Now, the right-hand side here, I'm going to start to cut down the side of the panel. So again, just where that pencil line was, just right up against that adhesive lining. So again, this time we're going right up against the adhesive lining. We're not leaving any excess of fabric. And I'm just going to trim that up and make sure that is really smart. We can see here we've got this beautifully straight line. Now, ordinarily, when I make a lampshade, I would leave some turnover on one side. So we could have a nice seam and turnover on this side. Now, I actually think that with the cotton drill, we don't need to do that, because cotton drill is woven on the bias, which just means that they won't fray when you cut it in a straight line. If you cut it diagonally, then you're more likely to see fray. So we can actually have a raw edge, which means that when we come to turn over the excess fabric we have along the top over the ring, it's going to be a lot easier if we don't have that turnover. So that's how I'm going to do it. Now, when you look at the instructions, it might also give you the option for a turnover. So if you'd rather have a turnover, it does leave a little bit more bulk. It makes that turnover around the ring a little bit trickier, but if you want to do that, then you can look at the instructions for that. That's not a problem. So again, I'm going to do the same on this side just here and cut right the way up the side of that adhesive panel. Again, all the way right up against the panel, and we've got a nice crisp edge there as well. So this is how we have prepared our panel to go around the outside of our lampshade. Now we can put this to one side just for a short while, and we're going to move on to working with the rings, the one with the lamp carrier and the plain circular ring as well.